Recording in progress. Progress.
Well, hello, government contractors and future government contractors. Here we are again in Stop Stepping Over the Dollars to Get to the Dimes. Welcome to this masterclass webinar. Get your business started in government contracting. Do you know a lot of people who are in business are afraid to get clients that will pay them 5, 6, or even 7 figures? They can't even imagine making that kind of money. But if you're working with large contractors, large businesses, large companies, that can happen. And so when we say stop stepping over the dollars to get to the dimes, it's exactly what we mean. If you want to be able to scale your business, grow your business quickly, then you have to stop stepping over the dollars to get to the dime. Welcome to the Facebook group, which is Winning Strategies to Win Government Contracts. I am Pam Knight, your Chief Business Strategist with 25 years of experience. Our team has won over $400 million in government contracts. In this webinar, we're going to talk about stop chasing customers, build your business with consistent revenue, and scale your business. So I am an MBE, which is a minority business enterprise, a small disadvantaged business, a business strategic coach, ebook publisher, speaker, trainer, do webinars, workshops, nominated for Small Business of the Year and Women of the Year, Women Business Leaders of Maryland in the Gazette of Politics and Business, and a Minority Business Leaders for the Gazette of Politics and Business. I'm a graduate of the American University. What we're going to cover today is the basics of government contracting, the types of businesses that contract, and how the government does business. If you're not familiar with that, we're going to talk about that today. So did you know that the U.S. federal government buys nearly $100 billion worth of goods and services from small businesses each year? The U.S. government is the largest buyer in the world. If you didn't know that, you better ask somebody, because that's where a lot of the money comes from government contracts. So if you are interested in government contracts, if you want to do business with the government contracts, follow this webinar and you'll understand why the U.S. government is the best possible client that you can have. Now, some of the types of businesses that the government do business with, as you can see, janitorial, the airplanes, small businesses, people that are IT businesses, you name it, and the government usually does businesses with those people. And they are small businesses just like you. Big spenders. When we say big spenders, let's take a look at some of the agencies that are big spenders, that a lot of small businesses have and are doing business with the government. So we have the Department of Health and Human Services is the largest government contractor, Social Security Administration, Department of Defense, Department of Homeland Security, and Department of Education. Now, I don't know as of today, are they still the ones, but a few years ago, they were the big spenders. So here we are with a case study. And what is a case study? A case study is where you have something that you want to solve. And so these are some of the case studies that I'm going to go through in this particular webinar some of the case studies that I dealt with when I started my journey to being a government contractor. So these are not anything current. Most of them are not anything current. These are things that when I got started. So the Department of Defense, DoD, needed IT equipment. So they put out a solicitation that their organization needed printers, and it was a simplified acquisition. And so the potential sellers were small business owners who have a license in computer equipment. Now, back in the day, I was one of those licensed IT people that could sell software and hardware. So when you have a simplified acquisition, the government needs something done right away. They don't need a proposal, they just need pricing. So they need to make it simple, and that's what a simplified acquisition really does. And so as a small woman-owned business, we were sent the request for quote, which means give us some prices, along with other small businesses, and submitted our information to the Department of Defense, along with other bidders. We were chosen to provide 25 compact printers, now HP, to the Department of Defense. We were licensed IT sellers at the time and was able to meet their needs and have the products sent directly to them. We sold over 150,000 to DoD at that time. So we solved the problem as a woman-owned small business, providing them with IT equipment within 7 to 10 days. That's what a simplified acquisition does. We'll talk a little bit about that later. Here's another case study. EPA needed IT equipment. The same thing we had to do for DoD, we had to do for EPA. And we sold over 125,000 of IT equipment to EPA. So it can happen. It really can happen. So is the government contracting right for your business? So some people say, no, don't be bothered with government contracting. And I understand it because it's not for everybody. You have to have the mindset, you have to believe that you can do it, and you have to be committed because it does take a little while. And you know why? Because you're playing in the big leagues. And sometimes when you play in the big leagues, it takes a while to get what you need, but the money is good. So what are the 5 reasons why you should sell to the government? The government wants to work with certified small businesses like you. Yes, they do. They look for them all the time. There's regulations in place to only do business with small business. Okay? The government spending is consistent, so you'll know prior to participating with the government what they're looking for. And it's consistent. You'll know that they may put out the same solicitation every couple of years, but you'll know what the government is asking for, and you should be able to participate in that solicitation. The government decision-making is transparent. Well, you know, there's no ifs, ands, or but about their decision-making. If you win, you win. Now, you can always turn down something if you don't want it after you find out that you've been awarded, but decision-making is transparent. Location doesn't matter. The government doesn't care where you work. They just want you to be able to respond to the needs that they have to service their clients, which means if you live in whatever state, but even if you're working out of your house, now at one time it wasn't like that, but now you can work anywhere you want, and the government is willing to do business with you as long as you're completely set up and ready to go. Go back. Now, the keys to success for doing business with the government is you have to lay the groundwork. And that means you have to understand what it is you need to do, how you need to do it, and get it done. You have to do your homework, finding out and understanding how the government operates. You have to secure working capital. That's hard sometimes for small businesses, but there are ways that you can do that. You have to improve your networking skills. That means you can't be a secret. You got to tell people what you are doing because you never know who you might meet who's working in the government that may be able to get you in without having to write a proposal. And let me tell you, that has happened to me. And then you want to document your success. And one of the ways you do that is by past performance. And you want to be visible. You want people to see you and know what you're doing. And when you start making money with the government, you want to give back to the community, like helping out charity and things like that. That is one of the best ways to be useful and do things with the government. Now, one of the things that in order for you to be a government contractor is that you have to know your NAICS code, classify your product or service. You just can't go into the government and say, I want to do this. The government works by what I call are NAC codes, NAICS codes. That's the only way they operate. They'll say, what is your NAICS code? And if you don't know that, they're going to say, you better find out what your NAICS code is, because that's the way we operate. This is what the government uses to categorize products and services. Remember this, NAICS code. Okay. So let's look at what a NAICS code is. Classify your product or service. So you'll see the main sector, which is 51, and we're in the information sector. Then there's a subsector, 511, publishing industry. Then there's the industry group, 5111, newspaper, book, and directory publishers. Then there's the industry 51119, other publishers, and of course the US industry 511191. Now, let me just say this, usually with your NAC codes, it's usually 6 figures. Because what they want is for you to break it down and tell us specifically what it is you're doing. And that's why they use the NAC code, because it helps them understand exactly what you're doing. What is one particular niche that you work in that you can sell to the government? So let's take a look at my NAC code, which I am a staffing and consulting firm. So my NAC code is 561320. So this is just a simple demonstration or a simple diagram of my NAC codes. So my NAC code, like I said, is 561320. So I can do contract staffing services, help supply services, labor, manpower pools, model supply services, office help, office supply pools, outplacement consulting services, outplacement services, personnel, suppliers, temporary employment services, temporary help, and temporary staffing services. All of that falls under 561320. So if I get a solicitation or see a solicitation with 561320, you best to believe any one of those index industries will be in there. And that's what I would have to respond to. Oh, it's going too fast. So the next thing I want to talk about is a capability statement. This is very important to your survival of being in the government. It's like a written resume, but it's completely business. So a written resume tells the government and corporate what your products or services are. Keep it to about 250 words, listing your past performance, website, email information, points of contact, which would be you. So this is just a sample of the capability statement that you would need in order to get the government involved in what you're doing. So let's say, okay, Pam, this is all good. I think I might be interested, but tell me a little bit more about government contracting. So when you want to start doing government contracting, you want to start prepping your business for contracting. That means you got to get your mind right. Many people don't understand that. You got to get your mind right and think, okay, this is not going to be real easy, but it's doable. So got to get your mind right for business contracting. It's going to be different than anything you've ever worked with. It's a lot of regulations that you have to deal with, and your infrastructure has to be in place. Otherwise, you will completely mess up or won't get anything done or won't be able to get contracts unless your infrastructure is in place. You'll be submitting and negotiating proposals. That's if you see a solicitation that requires you to write a technical proposal and price it, then you know that you're playing the game. And you got to make sure that you respond to their needs and make sure you price it so that you're able to win. Another good way is teaming up with other businesses. Okay. And then businesses that have found success with government contracting, they're on their way. At least if they win one, they'll feel like, oh, wow, I finally broke through. This is great. I am looking forward to doing more business with government. Now, the government contracting opportunities, and that would be certifications. And the reason why they have this, because in order for small businesses to be able to participate in the government structure, they had to come up with some FAR, what they call Federal Acquisition Regulations. And so in order for small business and women to participate, they had to come up with certifications. And one of the certifications is a WOSB, which is the Women-Owned Small Business. And they also have one called the EDWOSB, which is the Economically Disadvantaged Women-Owned Small Business. They have a HUD zone and they have veterans. There are others, but this is all I want to talk about. I don't want to overwhelm you with too much because you'll be thinking, oh, which one should I get? And let me just say this. You really don't need a whole bunch of them. You just need enough to get you going. And that if you decide to dabble in some other stuff, then that's great. So anticipated award price, including options, does not exceed the statutory thresholds of 6.5 million or 4 million. So depending on your particular niche will determine whether or not you can still participate in these programs. So one niche may say you can only make your threshold or the top of the line is 6 million. And then another threshold would say your top of the line is 4 million and you're no longer considered a small business. So finding the best contracting opportunities. We have micro purchases, simplified acquisitions, seal bidding, contract negotiations, participate in purchasing. And so what does all of that mean? So let's start with the micro purchases. A small purchase, which is called a micro purchase, is a government purchase under $10,000. So people may say, just $10,000? Yes, but it's a micro purchase and you don't have to do a whole lot of stuff. You don't even have to be certified. You could get a micro purchase that will get you started. That is past performance. And usually micro purchases can go up to, let's say, I think they can go up to 100,000. I'm not sure. They change the stuff all the time. So the other part is usually micro purchases and simplified acquisitions. You can do those by credit card. Wow. Which means you can get paid faster than the 30 days that you have to wait when you have large contracts. So let's go over simplified acquisition. It is a contracting method which seeks to reduce the amount of work the government must undertake to evaluate an offer. So when choosing a vendor in a simplified acquisition procurement, agencies need not bother with formal evaluations. They can say, okay, this is great. I like your pricing. We can go do this. Which is establishing a competitive range, conducting discussions, or scoring offers. So which means that I've had several simplified acquisitions. So basically, They usually, if they have some information on you, like you're in the SAM system or they have your capability statement, and they're looking for some vendors, small businesses like you, who can who can actually get them something within a matter of days, you're good. You don't have to write no proposal. You just have to price it. So let's talk about sealed bidding. Is another method of contracting that employs competitive bids, public opening of bids, and awards. So, which means that they're only interested mainly in pricing. They don't ask you to write a whole lot. They want to know about your pricing. These are contracts that are interested only in pricing. So if you price it right, you'll be among the winners. Contract negotiations is the second major acquisition method by the federal government. So with contract negotiations, this is more like a request for a proposal. This is where you have to do the big job of writing a technical proposal, which is in a separate envelope all by itself. Then you have your pricing, which is in a separate envelope all by itself, and they have to be sealed. Okay. So what the government does is they read your technical proposal and say, "Oh, this sounds pretty good. Now let's take a look at the pricing." And if the pricing is decent, you may be an awardee. If your pricing is off, you may not be an awardee. If your technical proposal sounds crazy, you won't be an awardee, even if your pricing is good. So they both have to come in line with each other. And sometimes another opportunity is participating purchasing opportunities, and that has happened. So sometimes when you are getting some business with the government, they just may do a purchase order. Once you've done something for them one time, they may just every so often send you a purchase order without any questions or anything other than you're going to make some more money. Okay. I love that one because I've been through that sequence where I was sending out software. And so they would just write on the fax machine. They needed X amount of software. And I would just order it and get it to them. Now there are different government programs, and I'm just going to just go through it because I don't want you to get too confused about all of this because if you're just getting started. They have the GSA Multiple Awards Program. Now the GSA schedule is the preferred purchasing method for most government agencies. Becoming an approved supplier on the GSA schedule can be a complex process, and it is. But the opportunities in generating new government business can help make it a worthwhile effort. So that means that if you get a GSA contract, usually those are, I think they're like 5 years or more, maybe, 5 years or more, maybe 10. And so once they run out, you just continue, you continue to reapply again. And this means that you've already negotiated pricing with the federal government. And so all they do is just, contact you, do a purchase order, or whatever it is they need to do to get you a GSA contract. And then of course we have the 8A, the business development program. And that means that if you participate in the 8A program, which is a business development program, you're in the program for 8 years, you graduate, and then for 8 years, you wear that badge of honor. And if you don't get any business within the 8 years, you cannot go back. That's it. Once you're done with that program, you're done. So hopefully in those 8 years, you'll get some government work, corporate work, whatever it is. You want to be able to wear that 8A business development program, be in that program and be able to get some business under the 8A program. It's a very good program if you utilize it correctly. Of course, we have the sole source program, which means that the government has found someone that nobody else does, and they will award you the contract purely because no one else is doing it. Of course, the WSB is for women-owned small business, and they do have programs for that. There are more, but we're not going to go through a whole lot of them. So there's 6 steps to prepare your business for government sales. So you want to develop and update your business for government contracting, classify your product or service, determine if you qualify as a small business, and 90% of you do. Unless you've met a threshold of millions and millions of dollars, you're going to be qualified as a small business. You want to get a DUNS number. You want to obtain a cage code, which will happen once you get your DUNS number. And you want to register in the SAM system. That's where all people who are interested in being government contractors have to register in the SAM system. This case study number 3. I had a contract with Maryland State Highway Administration for staffing services. That at that time I had moved over into staffing services. And so here again, it was a request for quote. I didn't have to write a whole bunch of stuff, and they needed to hire staff immediately throughout that agency. We, as a woman-owned small business, responded to the request for quote to address the agency concerns for hiring staff that would be qualified to work in many different departments of the State Highway Administration. We addressed those concerns. So we submitted our proposal addressing the needs of the agency and was one of the winners to provide staffing for the State Highway Administration in 2 counties, the 2 counties that I have in Maryland, which was Prince George's County and Montgomery County. And we were billing over $150,000 every month for 3 years. But ask somebody. That took my little $200 bank account to 6 figures. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. It was wonderful. I enjoyed it. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be a lucrative business for me. And I'm glad I decided to start focusing on government contracting. Here's case study number 4, Department of Interior. And let me tell you about this one. This was a little different. This was also a simplified acquisition. And I was at a PTA meeting, and there was a break going on. And one of the ladies that was sitting next to me, she worked for the Department of Interior. And she asked me, she just said, "Oh, I'm looking for a women-owned small business to do staffing." I could have fallen out of my chair. I looked at her and I said, "Say that again?" She said, "I'm looking for a woman-owned small business." And I raised my hand, and she looked at me and she said, "You're a woman-owned small business? You do staffing?" And I said, "Yes, I do." She said, "Oh my goodness." She said, "Oh, wow." And I said to her, "You can't find any women-owned small business that does staffing?" She said, "Well, I'm not the one that really does it, but you're a woman-owned small business. Are you set up?" And I said, "Yes, I am." She said, we exchanged information, and within a few days, I got that contract to staff that agency. But ask somebody, I'm telling you, that was a great, great contract. It's just, one of those things. So what I'm saying is, you don't be a secret. Let people know what you're doing, because you never know who you might run into who can help you and maybe get you and skirt some of the other stuff that you have to do, maybe able to get you through without having to do a whole lot of work. And we were billing over 100,000 every month for 3 years. So grow your business. If you want to grow your business in the federal government, you got to gain a command of the basic structure of the government. Gain a command of understanding how the infrastructure is. You got to stay informed of agency requirements because they change, not all the time, but change. Establish a powerful business methodology. What is your methodology for getting and winning government contracts? Evaluate your profile in the community. Make sure people know what you're doing in your own community. That helps. And establish partnerships. Now, that doesn't mean you have to work with people or actually put a partnership together. But if you could establish partnerships like, talking to other people and maybe at some point in time you might want to partner with someone, that is a good thing. Now, bidding and winning a government contract, that's a lot. It's something else. And a lot of people get disappointed because they don't win. And I understand that. You may say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. It's just too much. I'm not winning. But there's some reasons why you're not winning. So I just want to just say that even though you don't win, when you finally get one, you'll be like, "Ah, finally did it. I finally won." So bidding and winning a government contract. Do your work, pre-work, like understand, look at the solicitation. Is there anything that I can win on this? I'm going to stay in my lane. It's my niche. I'm going to try. You want to search for contract opportunities. And you don't have to actually, you can, but there are ways where the opportunities will start to come to you. If you purchase, some people purchase some software that does that, or you can look under the FESBIZ Ops, and there are opportunities all the time for work. If you know how to get set up in the FESBIZ Ops to bid or not to bid, you have to make that decision because you don't need to bid on everything. You need to bid on things that you think you can win. Then of course you have to have someone or you write the proposal. And the proposal includes the technical and the pricing. Then you must meet the deadline. You cannot come in there 1 minute after. They'll say, nope, we gave you a time. You had 21 days, 30 days to do this. Can't be late. And then you submit your proposal. So let's look at tips from a networking master. This person built her company, which was an information expert, from humble roots in her spare bedroom into a successful marketing resource for large government agencies. Today, this information expert revenues are over 11 million, and her customers include the Internal Revenue Service and the Department of Defense. See, you only need 2 clients. You don't have to have tons and tons of clients where you have to manage all the time. Just 2 clients can lift you off. I don't know about you. That sounds a whole lot better than having millions of clients, and you got to manage them all, because let me tell you, they will be calling you, all those clients, and you won't even have your freedom. You'll be like, okay, next call. Who I got to talk to? A critical component to the success has been her ability to build and cultivate strong relationships. That's very important in government contracts. Some people into the government contracting space thinking that because they are HUB zone or 8A or veteran-owned certified business, it will be easy to succeed. The reality is that to close deals, you need your feet on the street, continually networking to make more connections than you probably realize. So what I've said in a few of the other things is you gotta let people know what you're doing. Don't be a secret. That's the worst thing you can do, because then you won't know anybody. And it's always wonderful if somebody can get you in without you having to chase down people on the telephone. Okay. Let me go back. So you say, Pam, this all sounds great. What am I to do? In fact, you're feeling at your wit's end, knowing you offer a great service that provides real benefit, but you're just not seeing the results in your bank account. The problem might be with your target market, or never winning a contract, or your lack of past performance. Consider this. According to a study from Vista Print, an astounding 50% of micro business owners earn $25,000 or less in their business annually. Are you one of those? I'm not talking about you have a job. I'm talking about you actually are on your own. And are you one of those that can't get over $25,000? So learn how to succeed. Learn to be a solution provider for the government. That means that if you have a skill set your niche. Learn how to be a solution provider. And you would write that in your proposal, how you can solve the problem that the government is looking for. Learn to be a team player. Stay in constant innovation, meaning, if you're on a contract and you're in a meeting with them, they may say something, say, you know what, I think we can help you solve that problem in addition to what we're doing now. Learn to unravel difficult challenges. That's another thing that you can do. And be patient. All things come in time. In fact, here are 5 great reasons to work with the government clients. Money. Every year, governments spend hundreds of billions or trillions of dollars buying products and services from small businesses. Leverage. Having at least part of your revenue generated from a few agencies who buy a lot of services or products from you means you can better leverage your valuable time. And that's what I'm saying. As a government contractor, even though I run the company, I still have a lot of time for myself because I have staff that's actually making sure day to day things work for my business. Credibility. Adding big names to your resume instantly gives you credibility with new people you meet, as well as with people who come to your website. Impact. There are a lot of talk these days about helping more people, sharing your blessing with the world. Isn't that wonderful? Once you become a successful government contractor, people are gonna, and you let people know what you're doing. You're going to be getting calls. You're going to be, people going to want to talk to you. So that's the kind of impact you'll have on the world. Growth opportunity. You've probably heard the expression, make decisions from where you want to be. Make decisions from where you want to be, not from where you are today. Instead of worrying about if you'll be able to find a new client or can pay your bills this month, the government gives you that opportunity because once you have that client, usually the contract is usually 3 years, 5 years, and some maybe 10. I don't know about you. If I have to chase clients for 3 years, 5 years, let me tell you something. Freedom, freedom. Current clients and past clients of some of my certifications. So, of course, I'm in Maryland and I am an MBE, Minority Business Enterprise. I'm a woman-owned business, which is the We Bank. I have a county certification. I am also federally certified. And these are some of my past clients. These are now one or two of them are my current clients. There's 2 in there that are current clients, but I've had several clients in the past. So I didn't name them all. I just wanted to let you know mainly about the certifications that you can get. I don't have all of them. I don't want all of them. I just only need a few to get me going. So you're saying, okay, I'm still listening about government contracting. What else can I do? You can continue to do what you're currently doing if you're getting nowhere. You can continue to go to all the freebie networking events and get nothing in return. You can listen to experienced contractors who don't want to do business with you because they don't think you have the experience and your infrastructure is not solid. They'll say, okay, I'll call you. Or go from group to group and never get the help that you need. So what I'll do is personally show you everything you need to know to get your government contracting machine up and running smoothly instead of sputtering on the back burner of your to-do list. These are the same proven strategies and tools I've used, including updated techniques and tools that I teach my private consulting clients who want to work with me, who want to work with more big companies as fast as possible. And as you learn and implement the valuable government building strategies I share, you'll discover how you can spot many new opportunities with new clients and build your big business successes on top of the other and keep growing your revenues. Does that help you understand why government contracting is one of the ways to start making money? Winning Government Strategies webinar. This is what this is about. Stop stepping over the dollars to get to the dime. I want you to get there. I want you to work with me, and I want to help you get there. But there's a way to get there. There's a way to get that infrastructure set up and running, and there's a way to start winning. Now, we can't guarantee that you'll win everything, and I don't win everything, but I do win enough so that it keeps my financials over 5, 6, or 7 figures. And what we're talking about is the Government Launchpad, our signature course, our blueprint for getting you government ready. Scale up and grow your business, helping creative entrepreneurs scale up their business through government. That's what this is all about. That's why I had you to come into this group, Winning Strategies for Government Contract, because most of you have said, no, you're not a government contractor. You would like to be one, but how are you going to get there? Trial and error. That's what I did. So I don't want you to go through what I did. I want to work with you and get you up and running as fast as possible. So the Government Launchpad is one way to do it. Here's what you will learn: how to get registered and become a valuable contractor. And that means in the SAM and a few other things. There's 13 steps to prepare your business for government sales. And we teach you all of that in the Government Launchpad. Understanding what the government spends is one thing. If the government is not spending in your particular niche and if you have other skill sets, go there. Developing your niche. Make sure you understand that you can only do one niche at a time. Creating your mission statement. That would be mostly your capability statement. Writing your past performance to get in the door. And some of you say, well, I've never won a contract. That's okay. You can still win a contract based on past performance. Now, past performance meaning experience as well. Okay. Getting your industry into the game, getting your business into the game, and getting in the door, period. Oh, okay. So it doesn't matter what your current business level, from beginner to experienced owner. If you want to work with large companies or the government, this program covers what you need to know to create your own launchpad. Included is going to be homework, fun, easy to follow along to keep you focused on the most important actions, each of the key points you need to remember, as well as the action steps you need to complete. It's all laid out in a simple format. So when you go through our program, we're going to give you quizzes, homework to do, and we want to check this, make sure you really understand what you're doing. Because once you get it all into your brain, your head, you won't have to say, oh, I don't know. Well, I know. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. So are you ready? Are you ready, folks, to reap a great return on your investment of time, money, and energy? Get a bigger bang for your marketing buck? Start your journey to government client mastery? Watch your revenues soar? Are you ready? Again, here's what you'll learn in the Government Launchpad: how to get registered and become a valuable contractor, 13 steps to prepare your business for government sales, understanding what the government spends, developing your niche, creating your mission statement, writing your past performance to get you in the door, getting your industry into the game, and getting yourself in the door. When you work with our team, you'll benefit from our firsthand experience and personal knowledge that has landed my business, government, and corporate contracts with some of the biggest names in the industry, in the business today. Here are some of my past performance: FAA, DOT, Department of Interior, Maryland State Highway, Northrop Grumman, Defense Agencies, PEPCO, Maryland. So, because I've been out there a while, so I was just rolling along, doing business. Here's an option that you could do it yourself option. Read books. And we got a few here. And if you're interested in some of these books, we can get those. We can tell you how to, who they are and who the authors are. Or you can, enroll and invest in your business and get ready to launch your own government contracting business launchpad. While we know everyone will not be committed to doing business with the government, we only want serious-minded people who have a passion of serving and providing amazing services to the government. What can you offer the government that will turn your business into a 5, 6, or even 7-figure business and help your clients along the way? So only enroll If you can offer services and products that solve real life issues for the client, you are committed to putting in the work to make it happen and service your clients. You are a person who practices with integrity. You know your work company can make a difference in people's lives if you only had a system that would help you step by step getting your launch pad up and running. Do you meet all of that criteria? I know, I think most of you do. Then, guess what? Easy payment options. Our special beta pricing, 50% off the regular price. Remember, we said we're looking for some case studies? That would be you. So we have option one, you can pay in full for $2,500. And then option two, you can pay 3 payments of $849. Now let's stop here for a minute. We're doing what we call beta testing, which means the regular price will be $5,000 once the beta testing is over. If you start right now, which the courses will be ready in January, because we don't want to mess up people's Christmases, you will get the $2,500 price if you pay in full, or you can get the $849 if you pay in 3 payments. You will be our case study. So when we rewrite this program, rewrite this webinar, you'll be some of the case studies with your permission that we can showcase to bring other people along who would be interested in government contracting, but they won't be getting it at the 50% off that you will. These people will get to the regular price because we're only going to do the beta price once. Once we close it, it's over. Okay. So if you can pay $2,500 up front all at once, we will do a business audit. So how do you know if your business is government ready? We will take you through an extensive checklist, provide you with a list of what you will need, what items are missing, and if you have everything you need. That's bonus one if you pay upfront. Go back to bonus two. 101 coaching. We're going to give you 3 sessions of that. During these coaching sessions, insight is provided on one-on-one approach, whether you're by phone, video conferencing, or face-to-face. It's going to guide you through some of the situations or concerns that you may have, and improving on what you're doing to help you get started, to grow, and continue to move forward. Number 3, we're going to give you sample templates of case statements. So that's going to give you an opportunity to find at least one of those case statements that fits your niche. And not that we have every niche, but to fit the style, I should say, that you might want to showcase your case statement that you would present to the government. So let's go over that again. If you pay in full, if we're going to do a business audit, one-on-one coaching, 3 sessions, simple template for writing a case statement. And you will get that immediately. You don't have to wait until January. We will give you that immediately if you pay in full. So what you would do, we will send you a link to schedule a business audit so we can start looking at what's happening in your business, where you are. If you're not anywhere, we want to see, so we can start getting your infrastructure together. You can do your coaching sessions now, or you can do them later when the course starts. And of course, the simple templates of case statements, we will also send you those as well. If you pay your full, those are your bonuses. So again, option 1, pay in full, $2,500. Option 2 is $849 for 3 payments. Regular price would be $5,000, and of course, will go up as time goes on. Right now, we're offering it low because we want to get people into our program so they can see how wonderful our program is. We're local if you're in the Maryland area, Maryland, DC, Virginia area. So it's a great opportunity to get it done. And like I said, this will go on for a little while, but it'll eventually end. Once we get the amount of case studies that we're looking for, we'll shut it down, okay? And again, the business audit, the one-on-one coaching, which is 3 sessions, and several templates that you can work with. So thank you for participating in this webinar of winning strategies to win government contracts. I'm Pam Knight, the Chief Business Strategist. So if you're interested in this program, the Government Launchpad, you will need to notify us. Send us a DM, email, text message, whatever it is you need to do so we can get you enrolled in the government launchpad, whether you're paying in full or whether you're paying in recurring payment. You have to let us know. And we won't wait long because we're going to get this up and running and going. And I want you to come along with me so you can get started, get rolling, get moving, so you can start being ready to be a government contractor. So thank you. Learn how to build your business and become a solution provider for the government. You can always send us an email. I want to thank you for enjoying me. If you have any questions, post your questions. We would be love to answer those questions, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.